What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Whiskey Boys solo adventure. My name's Nick, and today I want to start my first episode of the reaction series that I was talking about in my last episode. And what a great day to do it, because we have a new video out from President Joe Biden for his bid of re-election for the 2024 campaign. There's a lot to unpack with it, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with all the fluff. Let's get right into this today. Gotta start with the violence. Gotta try to set the narrative for all the violent acts that the right takes. Okay, I like it. I like it.
Freedom.
Freedom. Yes, let's talk about freedom.
Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
Unless you want to exercise your personal freedoms for the Second Amendment, in which case it is constantly under attack. Day in and day out.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
Because you're obviously not fighting for the troops in our withdrawal of Afghanistan. You're trying to fight for Europeans and Ukraine by being a money machine maker. A money machine go burst, send them millions and millions and millions of dollars for a war that we aren't a part of. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I don't see how it helps America, but continue.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally, and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it.
Everybody is given a fair shot. Everybody has the ability to make something of themselves, even if they start out at the bottom class of society. You can work your way up to being the upper echelon with enough hard work, sweat, determination.
But you know
what? Gotta keep up with the violence narrative, even though it's all been debunked from the January 6th footage that was released, that Tucker Carlson has been going over, or did go over a couple weeks ago. While some of it was violent and people have been charged with it and convicted, there's a lot of video evidence that shows that a lot of Capitol Police were helping with the matter, and that they allowed the people into the building in several areas, actually opening up the doors, letting people walk right in.
around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life.
I'm gonna have to say no on that one. I have not seen a single Republican or any MAGA advocate talk about getting rid of Social Security. I've heard them talk about putting restrictions on welfare and healthcare in this country to make sure that people can pass drug tests. I've heard of that, but nothing on Social Security.
Cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what healthcare decisions women can make.
Okay, so I gotta talk about this one real quick. I might spend a minute or two on this. He's talking about Roe v. Wade, about how it was overturned by the Supreme Court back in June of last year, and all they did was they got rid of the federal protections of Roe v. Wade and made it back to being a states' rights issue, where states were now able to decide whether or not they wanted to have abortion in their states or not. And this is based off of who is voted into office in each of these states. So it made local elections much more important. So if you really, really want to be able to go and kill babies, what you need to do is you need to find a candidate who also agrees with you about killing babies and vote for him or her, if you want to be able to kill babies that badly. So if you're gonna go and vote, make sure that candidate talks about it. It's a states' right issue. So your states can change the laws based on who's in charge of the legislator. That's how it's supposed to work. Let's continue.
Banning books.
Yes, he is talking about banning books, and one of the most famous books that I like to bring up in the Whiskey Lounge, which is Thursday nights at 7 o'clock, don't miss it, is Gender Queer, a book about a person woman, man, a woman that wants to be a man. It's very convoluted. Who that is allowed in schools that depict very graphic sexual acts between minors, and it's being allowed in our schools, and parents who speak up about it at PTA meetings are escorted out of the meetings because they're not allowed to talk about the sexual content in a public place, but they're allowing it in the schools. So yeah, you know what? I'm perfectly fine with not allowing minors access to porn in schools. I am 100% for that.
And telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
All Republicans have been trying to do, and I'm not even just going to say Republicans, some Democrats are trying to go back to the way things used to be before COVID-19 happened. So back when the pandemic was in full swing back in 2019 and during the 2020 election, they did something called mass mail-in ballots, which is very, very unsecure. Very unsecure. I don't care who you're talking to, mass mail-in ballots are unsecure. Now, if they were to do mass absentee ballots, where there's a better chain of custody, you could have that argument. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to go back to the way things used to be before the pandemic with in-person voting. They're talking about voter ID. They're talking about ways to make the election as secure as possible. And for someone who spouted out how secure the elections were and having the most votes possible in American history, wouldn't you want it to be as secure as possible so you can keep that going, so that you could tell the MAGA Republicans and people that dislike you that that you did legitimately win, that you did legitimately get the most votes in American history? Don't you want it to be as secure as possible so you can just spit in their faces and say, yeah, I did that? I would want to. I would love to be able to have those the ability to gloat like that. I guess he doesn't want to. I guess he's a better man than I am. You know, I've noticed Kamala Harris in this a lot. Like, usually in presidential campaign videos, they're talking about them, how they want to be the president, how what they're doing is making a difference and why you should vote for them. She is in this a lot.
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom.
We drastically have less freedom since you've been in office, with all the executive orders that you've been putting through. You have more executive orders in your in your first term as president than any other president in American history. That doesn't sound like someone who follows the traditional systems of America. That just sounds like someone who wants to take a pen to paper and just write executive order after executive order.
More rights or fewer? I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too. This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election.
Even though NBC just came out with a poll where it asked its viewers, and 70% of the viewers said they did not want Joe Biden to run for re-election. Okay.
Because I know America.
You know how to steal money from Americans. You know how to use taxpayer dollars to fund your family in very lucrative business deals. Take a look at the war in the Middle East back when Obama was president. Somehow your brother got a lot of the construction contracts over there. Yeah, look it up.
I know we're good and decent people. I know we're still a country that believes in honesty and respect and treating each other with dignity. That we're a nation where we give hate no safe harbor. We believe that everyone is equal, that everyone should be given a fair shot to succeed in this country.
If you work hard, you can. You truly and honestly can.
Thank you for choosing us.
Every generation of Americans has faced a moment when they have to defend democracy. Stand up for our personal freedom. Stand up for the right to vote and our civil rights.
Actually, we're a constitutional republic.
rights. And this is our moment.
We, the people, will not decide.
So if you're with me, go to joebiden.com and sign up. Let's finish this job. I know we can. Because this is the United States of America. There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
Awesome. Awesome. I absolutely loved that campaign ad. I really did. I love how stupid they think that we all are. I love how stupid that they think we are not to know how terrible things are financially. I mean, take a look at today as opposed to 5 years ago, right before the COVID pandemic. Are you in a better financial situation now than you were 5 years ago? I mean, I definitely am not. Yeah, I'm making more money now, but the cost of living, the cost of just being able to go out and do what you want to do has dramatically increased. So, I don't understand where he's coming from talking about how he wants to finish the job. Like, Trump was able to turn around the country financially in his first term, and all Biden has done is just destroyed the country in his first term. Okay, if I have more, if I have more ads like this to go through, I tell you what, it is going to be one very good year for content. But that is my first reaction video, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and also check out Brandon's videos. I know he had a new one come out last week. I'll make sure I try to put that link in the description for you as well, so you can check that out. And don't forget to check us out on Thursday at 7 p.m. for the Whiskey Boy Lounge. Thank you for tuning in today, and hope to see you again.